ما في فايدة مايكروفون.
Switch.
إن الحمد لله تعالى نحمده ونستعين به ونستغفره ونعوذ بالله تعالى من شرور أنفسنا من سيئات أعمالنا. من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له، وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له، وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله صلى الله عليه وسلم وعلى آله وصحبه ومن اهتدى بهديه بإحسان إلى يوم الدين. يقول الله تعالى: يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله حق تقاته ولا تموتن إلا وأنتم مسلمون. يا أيها الناس اتقوا ربكم الذي خلقكم من نفس واحدة وخلق منها زوجها وبث منهما رجالا كثيرا ونساء، واتقوا الله الذي تساءلون به والأرحام إن الله كان عليكم رقيبا. يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله وقولوا قولا سديدا يصلح لكم أعمالكم ويغفر لكم ذنوبكم، ومن يطع الله ورسوله فقد فاز فوزا عظيما. أما بعد، فإن أصدق الحديث كلام الله تعالى، وخير الهدي هدي محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم، وشر الأمور محدثاتها، فإن كل محدثة بدعة وكل بدعة ضلالة وكل ضلالة في النار. Inshallah, before we start, I greet you with Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. And would like to thank inshallah the administration of this masjid for the opportunity, inshallah, holding the CIC here in Greenville, in this great masjid and great community. And the topic, inshallah, we will handle in this maybe 40-45 minutes, inshallah. It's about strengthening the Islamic community. And I believe this topic is very, very important and touch maybe every community in the US. And we have to be transparent and truthful maybe about this issue. We all face problems because of the maybe weakness in the community. That's why the topics came like how we're strengthening the community. And we face challenges inside our communities. We're facing challenges coming from outside the Islamic communities. The best example of is Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. خير الهدي هدي محمد عليه الصلاة والسلام. And really you cannot speak about any topic without bringing the seerah of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. What means and ways that the Prophet used alayhi salatu wasalam to strengthen the community. But before, just to define the topic, strengthening the community, meaning to make the community to be very strong, to fortify the community, to empower the community, to sustain the community, to build it based on the Quran and the Sunnah. And this concept of the community, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentioned in the Quran by the word ummah. Mentioned kuntum khayra ummatin ukhrijat lin-nas. Best nation has been brought out to the mankind. But the definition of the community is any group of people who live in geographical area, share some values and principles. This is a community. Okay, it can be maybe made or can be consist of 3-4 people. It can be a community. So there's no any specific number, but just group of people, they gather together based on certain principles and values, and they keep those values to be continued and inherited to the next generation. But here the Islamic values are kind of unique because it's a religion, it's faith. And the Prophet ﷺ, when he lived in Mecca, Muslims, they living under different conditions than in Medina. There have been persecuted, there has been maybe humiliated, the religion has been rejected, there's been tortured. So all types of suffer that Muslims they went through in Mecca. But when the Prophet ﷺ, he went to Medina, the first thing that he did, ﷺ, he built the masjid, established the masjid in day one, because this is the center for the community. This is what can bring people together in the masjid. People from different tribes, race, and Al-Aws, Al-Khazraj from one side, the Muhajirin from the other side. There is many components, many people in Medina. But when the Prophet built the masjid, ﷺ, he wanted to show them, ﷺ, the significance and the importance of the masjid at the center for the community, place where people, they can come together, they can share values, share principles, teachings, helping one another, caring for one another, and looking after one another. And it worked really very good because it's a revelation from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So Islam provides an excellent model implemented by the Prophet ﷺ in establishing a community, and it's really unique. You'll not find any religion or any society did what the Prophet ﷺ did. When he not only building the masjid as a structure, just a building, but he gathered 90 of the Muhajirin and the Ansar, 45 from the Muhajirin and 45 from the Ansar, in house of Anas ibn Malik. He gathered them. For everyone coming from Mecca, people coming from Mecca, they're very poor people. They left their money, they left everything in Mecca, they came to Medina with nothing with them. People in Medina, they're wealthy, they're rich, they have lands, they have mashallah, wealthy. So for each one from the Ansar, the Prophet ﷺ found someone from the Muhajirin, and he said, this is your brother, take care of him. Whatever you can do, share with him whatever you have. And it's happened, and the history, subhanAllah, recorded this, which is a very astonishing experience, when he made the brotherhood sallallahu alayhi wasallam between Sa'd ibn al-Rabi' and Abdurrahman ibn Auf. Sa'd ibn al-Rabi' from the Ansar is very wealthy. Abdurrahman ibn Auf is from the Muhajirin. He was wealthy in Mecca, but not wealthy in Medina. He left everything, he came with nothing. And history told us about this experience when Sa'd ibn al-Rabi', he said to Abdurrahman ibn Auf, I am among the wealthiest people in Medina. So I want to divide my wealth into two halves. I will give you half of my wealth. And I have 2 wives. Look at each of 2 wives. Whoever that you like, when you look at her, then I can divorce that wife. After her iddah is over, you can marry her. This is unknown, unheard of. It cannot really happen, because the Sahaba, they have the maximum example, but at least we learn really what sacrifices mean in strengthening and building the community. It's not just preaching. You can preach brotherhood, you can talk about that from the text, things like that. But when reality comes in dividing your money, dividing your house, your land, doing something for your Muslim brother only because he is your brother in Islam, he's not from the same tribe, not could be from the same nationality or country or anything, what sharing, what's gathering those 2 people, what they have in common is the religion only, the Islam. And look, subhanAllah, the other example, he did not say, yes, give me half of your wealth, I need one of your wives, things like that. Also, they have some teachings, which is they are self-reliance. All of the Sahaba who came, subhanAllah, from Mecca, they did not took the advantage of what the Prophet ﷺ offering them, even what the Muhajirin, the Ansar is offering them. All of them, they said, no, we can work. Abdurrahman ibn Auf, he said, show me the market. Just tell me what the market is. I know how to do business, and I can live by sustain myself, which is happened. The Prophet ﷺ, not only just for only those two, the Ansar came and they gave offer to the Prophet ﷺ. He said, we want to divide all the land that we have and all of the money that we have with our brothers, not only one person, all of them. And the Prophet ﷺ refused. The Prophet said, no, don't do that. When they insist, the Prophet told them, okay, let them help you in the land, working in the land, and you share the harvest, the production of the land, 50-50, which is really fair, because the Prophet warned them to rely on themselves, to work. And the Prophet ﷺ, this is reality. I mean, it's not just like somebody walk maybe in the masjid and get help and things like that. The Prophet want everybody to get a job, everybody to work really hard to take care of himself, other than relying on the community. So this is the foundation of that community that the Prophet ﷺ built, and as I mentioned, it's full of sacrifices and love for the sake of Allah Azza wa Jal. Allah described them, قال والمؤمنون والمؤمنات بعضهم أولياء بعض. They are supporters and helpers to one another. So this kind of method, imagine, I want you really to understand what those people went through before they get to this level. They used to fight each other. They used to fight, kill one another for no reasons. And out of those teachings, everything changed. And subhanAllah, from they used to be enemies, as Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentioned, فَأَصْبَحْتُ بِنِعْمَةِ إِخْوَانًا. By the grace of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, you became as brothers and sisters. But you used to fight one another. وَكُنْتُمْ عَلَى شَفَى حُفْرَةٍ مِنَ النَّارِ فَأَنْقَذَكُمْ مِنْهَا. So here, the teachings also has a big impact on the people, values and principles, and the way that they understand this deen. The example that we mentioned maybe here, Hadith al-Bukhari, that a man came to the Prophet ﷺ and said, which part of the Islam is the best? I want to do the best of the Islam. Which one is the best? The Prophet told him, قَالَ تُطْعِمُ الطَّعَامِ. He start, not even the Aqidah, we know, the Sunnah, the rituals and everything, but the Prophet ﷺ, when he mentioned this hadith, that's at the time of building the community. So he said to feed the needies, to help the poor people. This is the best of the Islam. تُطْعِمُ الطَّعَامِ. And then to greet those people that you know and the people that you don't know. And this is that we're not practicing that as Muslims. The Prophet said, تَقْرَأُ السَّلَامَ عَلَى مَنْ عَرَفْتَ وَمَنْ لَمْ تَعْرِفْ. Those people that you know and those people that you don't know. You pass by any Muslim, you greet him, Assalamu alaikum. In a shopping center, at the masjid, at the school, in any place. Unfortunately, some Muslims now, who have maybe high status, professional, something like that, they don't want to even use Assalamu alaikum in the public places for them not to be identified as Muslims. But here, that's what the teaching of the Prophet ﷺ. Abdullah ibn Salam, the Jewish rabbi, very knowledgeable. He accepted Islam very early among the Jewish people who accepted Islam. He said, when the Prophet came to Medina, I went to the Prophet ﷺ to check him out, because Abdullah ibn Salam is a rabbi, a scholar. So he said, I looked at his face, and his face is not the face of a liar. And I heard him saying, Ya ayyuhan nas afshu salam. O people, exchange greetings. وَأَطْعِمُ الطَّعَامِ. And feed also people. وَصِلُوا الْأَرْحَامِ. Reach out to your relatives, family members. وَصَلُّوا بِاللَّيْلِ وَالنَّاسُ نِيَامِ. Pray during the night time. تَدْخُلُ الْجَنَّةِ بِسَلَامِ. You enter the Jannah in peace. So here the Prophet also start with building the relationship among the people by greeting, by feeding, by reaching to the other people. Among other teachings also, taking care of the neighbor. That's a community too. Because the community of Muslims that are living together, each one, that your neighbor, have rights on you. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentioned, وَالْجَارِ ذُو الْقُرْبَى وَالْجَارِ الْجُنُبِ وَالصَّحْبِ بِالْجَنْبِ. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentioned al-jar twice here. The one who's relative, the one who's not your relative. But the hadith is mentioned, the Prophet said, I swear by Allah. قال والله لا يؤمن والله لا يؤمن والله لا يؤمن. He's not a believer, he's not a believer, he's not a believer. They said, who is he? قال صلى الله عليه وسلم لا يمن جاره بوائقه. The one whose his neighbor cannot trust his evil. person, his neighbor cannot trust him because an evil person is not a believer. So here the Prophet in introducing peace within the community among the people, neighbor, meaning nobody should backbite his neighbor, should steal from his neighbor, should have or cause any harm to his neighbor. Among the teachings also in Bukhari that the Prophet ﷺ mentioned, قال لا يؤمن أحدكم حتى يحب لأخيه ما يحب لنفسه. All of us we know this hadith. None of you reach the high level of faith until he loved for his brother what he loved for himself. Then he told them, المؤمن للمؤمن كالبنيان. He said, a mu'min, a believer to the other believer like a building, like one structure. And then sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he interchanged his fingers like this. So he showed them how the Muslims they should be. That's in early teachings of the Prophet alayhi salatu wasalam. وَشَبَّكَ بَيْنَ أَصَابِعِ. Then he told them alayhi salatu wasalam in a very long hadith, لا تباغضوا ولا تحاسدوا ولا تدابروا. He mentioned in many things that they should not really do. And this is in the problems that the community might face sometimes. But he told them, كونوا عباد الله إخوانا. Be at the servant of Allah, as brothers and sisters for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Among his teaching, he used to tell them also, من كان في حاجة أخيه كان الله في حاجته. Anybody help his Muslim brother or sister, then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will help him. من نفس عن مؤمن كربة من كرب الدنيا. Anybody relieve a Muslim from any hardship in this life, Allah will relieve him from a hardship in the day of the judgment. Anybody cover up the faults of the Muslims in this life, Allah will cover his faults in the day of the judgment. الرحماء يرحمهم الرحمن. People who show mercy, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will show them mercy as well. ارحموا في الأرض يرحمكم من في السماء. Show mercy to the people on earth, the one who is in the heaven will show you mercy. So all of those teachings, alayhi salatu wasalam, elevated, subhanallah, the faith of the people, their aspiration or their ambition in themselves, that they are not just like what they used to be. Now they're having a mission. They're having responsibilities towards other people, their neighbor, the other Muslims, and all that. And this is really one of the standards, really, you can elevate someone and have his self-esteem really to be high, to make him to focus not only on himself, but focus on other people, to give him a responsibility. He's responsible as an individual or a member in the community. He's not just somebody, have no inner role to play. Everybody in the community has a role to play. And the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he used to direct people to pay attention to anybody doing anything in the community. And we know the story of the black woman that she used to clean the masjid of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. That's another story. It's happened also in Medina, that this woman, she used to clean the masjid, volunteering to clean the masjid, not getting paid anything for that. So she died. She died during the night. And at the Sunnah, the Sahaba, they made her janazah to be quickly. They did not inform the Prophet about her death. Few days after that, the Prophet missed that woman, meaning he's paying attention to her, alayhi salatu wasalam. So he missed that woman. And he asked the Sahaba, what did the woman that she used to clean the masjid? They told the Prophet alayhi salatu wasalam that she died. And he said, why you didn't tell me about her death? As if, this explanation of the hadith, they belittle that woman or think she's not significant, since she's cleaning the masjid only. But the Prophet alayhi salatu wasalam wanted to show them everybody in the community is important. He said, show me her grave. He didn't finish the story right there. Okay, she died, may Allah forgive her. He said, show me her grave. Then the Prophet ﷺ went to her grave and he made Salatul Janazah with other Sahaba with him, and that's the first Janazah that the Prophet prayed while the person inside the grave. He made an acknowledgement for that woman because of her work and volunteering in the masjid. So anybody in the community is important. That's another way that we have not, we should not leave anybody behind and think that it's not significant or he's not educated or he's this and that. Muslim community, everyone is important. We can divide the community in men and women, rich and poor, educated, uneducated, people speaking Arabic, people not speaking Arabic, black and white. Whatever those classification is, it really doesn't matter. As Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said in the Quran, inna akramakum indallahi atqakum. The best among you, those who fear Allah the most. In the other he mentioned, Ya ayyuhan nasu inna khalaqnakum min dhakri wa untha wa ja'alnakum shu'uban wa qabaila li ta'aruf. Allah made us as nations and tribes so we can know one another. But we cannot use that to elevate ourselves or distinct ourselves from the rest of the people. So this community, the characterization and the features of the community that the Prophet ﷺ built, they are serious in their religion, they are committed to the teachings of the Islam, they live in peace, they compete in doing the good deeds, and they help one another. This is really the features of that community. Everybody loves the other one. Everybody cares for the other one. So among those ways that the Prophet ﷺ used and Islam used, also the ritual ways to bring in people together. رابط العبادة, connecting the people through the act of worship. Look at Salatul Jama'ah. This is unique in Islam. How many times, if you are not really maybe praying or think somebody is a Christian, say, or any religion, and he have that type of life, how many times he will see his own father, or own brother, or own sister, or somebody from the relative, he might see him twice a day. Islam made us to see each other 5 times a day. Imagine, that's more than your own brother. 5 times a day. You come to Fajr, mashallah, you see the same people. Dhuhr, Maghrib, Isha, Asr, all of the 5 prayers. When you see the person, there is a message in that. If this person is sick, you can tell. If this person has any trouble, that is not paying his rent, having any issues, any problem happening in the family, you can tell. And this could be second maybe reason behind Salatul Janazah, other than worshiping Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Salatul Jama'ah, other than worshiping Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, is for the people to come together and check on each other. And this is really true and serious. And I remember this person, may Allah forgive him, he's from a community and he has some relatives, but unfortunately doesn't pray, doesn't come to the masjid. Wallahi, this person, he died in his room, and after 3 weeks, the property manager, she came, and maybe he paid rent in the first of the month, so she came, she stick the receipt on his door, first of the month. And she went back. She came after 3 weeks, she found the receipt still in the same place. She said maybe something's wrong here. She called the police, and subhanAllah, they found out this person is dead for 3 weeks. We cannot wash his body. You cannot even do tayammum. You cannot touch the body. It has been just wrapped with plastic and buried. May Allah forgive him. But that's an example of people isolating themselves from the Islamic community and live a life that they think they're doing much, much better when they're away from the Muslims. Unfortunately, we have some people with that kind of mindset. Muslims is just trouble. I don't want to be with a Muslim. I have all kind of problems from the Muslims, and the person just isolating his life and himself completely away. Wallahi, nothing bad that will come out of the being engaged and member in the Islamic community. You got all of the peace of mind, rahmah, mercy from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, protection from the shaitan. Because the Prophet ﷺ said, there are no any 3 people in any city or any village, they don't establish a jama'ah, but they are in the fitna of the shaitan. Shaitan will get them. إِلَّا اسْتَحْوَذَ عَلَيْهِمُ الشَّيْطَانِ will surround them, will encamp. 3 people in any city, they have to establish a jama'ah. A masjid, they have to pray somewhere, but they have to be a jama'ah. So what about, subhanAllah, people who live within the Islamic community? So Rabitul Ibadah is important. Away from that also, the 5 times prayer. Look at Ramadan. Some people, they come only in Ramadan. They are welcomed also. In the Salatul Taraweeh, you see the masajid, mashallah, are full. People, they know each other, establish this social life and relationship through the month of Ramadan. People might go to Hajj together. So all of the ibadat generally, Salatul Eid, the purpose and the goal for all of this is socialization and building a community and making people to everyone say, I can pray at home, I can go to Hajj by myself, I can do this and that by myself, but will not achieve that goal, which has been motivated to the people. That's more ajr, more reward that if you pray at the masjid 27 times. Actually, not only that, the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, one time he threatened the people who don't come to the masjid that he will go and burn their houses down. Not because they don't pray. They pray, but they pray at their houses. And the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, I thought of doing something, which is I asked somebody to call the adhan and ask somebody to lead the salah, and I will go with some people with firewood to set the houses of those people who doesn't come to the masjid on fire, because they're missing a lot, and they are breaking the community and they're dividing the community. So all of those acts of worship, rituals, the salah and the Jum'ah as well, and the janazah, all of them, they fall in that. So among those high values, teachings of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, Islam also teach, among that, everybody is equal. And I mentioned that, but I want to quote the story of a woman who have also high status in the community of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. المرأة المخزومية in Bani Makhzum. This woman, she is young, she is beautiful, she is from a very high rank family and tribe from Bani Makhzum, but she did something wrong. She used to borrow things from people without returning it back. She used to steal from people, and they reported her to the Prophet alayhi salatu wasalam. Based in the Sharia, the Prophet should cut her hand. But some people, because of her social status, start interfering with this ruling. And they try to beg the Prophet ﷺ not to do it, because this, special woman, special family. But the Prophet ﷺ said, those values and principles, everybody in the community is equal. Even his daughter, when he mentioned that. And the story is very long, but they asked Usama ibn Zayd to interfere in that. But the Prophet ﷺ stood and addressed the people. And he said, what destroyed the people before you, when someone is very noble person from high status, he did something wrong, people, they don't punish him. They exempted him from the punishment. If something was low status in the social maybe rank, they punish him. Then he said, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, that's the principle that he said, I swear by Allah, if my daughter Fatima, she steals, I will cut her hand. People understand that it's over. There is no anybody can be treated differently in the community because of this and that. And this is the principle of Islam all the way along. It's bringing the people together. So we are at the masjid or the school or anything running for the Muslims. Nobody should have any special status, special ruling, other than the rest of the Muslims. Other than that, if you just do it only one time, you're breaking the rules of the Islam. Among the ways that also strengthen the community, we have to stay away from anything that causes to divide, making any kind of division. This is really important. The challenge that the Muslims and Islamic centers and the masajid they're facing, this is division, unfortunately. It's happened due to many reasons. Could be race, could be school of thoughts, could be different ways. Sometimes there is no need for it. But I want to just touch really on what Islam and how Islam instructs us when we're having any dispute or any problem. What should we do? Islam acknowledges that disputes and differences might happen. Then Allah mentioned, فَإِن تَنَازَعْتُمْ فِي شَيْءٍ فَرُدُّوهُ إِلَى اللَّهِ وَالرَّسُولِ إِن كُنتُمْ تُؤْمِنُونَ بِاللَّهِ وَالْيَوْمِ الْآخِرِ. If you have any dispute about any matter, then take it back to the book of Allah and the Sunnah of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. In another ayah in Surah An-Nisa, when Allah mentioned, يَا أَيُّهَا الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا أَطِيعُوا اللَّهَ وَأَطِيعُوا الرَّسُولَ وَأُولِي الْأَمْرِ مِنْكُمْ. O who you believe, obey Allah and His Messenger and those who are in charge or in the authority of you. We're not doing that. A lot of the masajid maybe undermine the authority of the leadership that they choose themselves. Could be either the Imam or the Shura Council or whoever. Most of the division came about really this issue. And we have to, as Muslims, understand that the Imam, he is the leader of the masjid. And I'm not saying that's because I'm the Imam, but this is how Islam established. Imam is the leader of the masjid. Everybody else is helping the Imam. Even the president, even the chairman. Because what goal they trying to achieve? And everybody, our goal is to run the masjid, mashallah, peacefully, people benefiting from the masjid, the teachings, and all of the things that we do. And the one who played the center role in this is the Imam himself. But sometimes people raise issues that's not even important and they should not really discuss. Just like the khutbah, for example. If the Imam is given the khutbah, when people don't undermine the Imam, they might challenge the Imam in things that is agreed upon. There's no any differences about riba, for example, or selling alcohol or things like that. No dispute in that. So nobody should uh, open a door for the fitna, challenging imam and think that is known. If there's some difference, it's okay. But if it's agreed upon from the Quran and the Sunnah, that's what his job. So the support that the community and the shura and the board that they should really give the imam, this is the success of any masjid. And plus also giving the imam chance. Some imam that are new to develop experience, it takes time sometimes. So people give the imam the chance and be patient. The idea of changing the imam once in a while and every time is not really a good idea. Practically, it's not for the interest of any community, because when the imam takes time, he will study the community. He will study the problems of the community, and then the time will come when he's really used this time that he spent with the community, inshallah, to solve the problems. But if he's spending 1 year here and 6 months over there and then another, it takes time to know the families, to know the kids, to know what's going on in the community. It takes time. Then after that, imam will start maybe benefiting the community based on this. So Allah said in the Quran, وَتَعَاوَنُوا عَلَى الْبِرِّ وَالتَّقْوَى. Help one another in everything that's good. وَلَا تَعَاوَنُوا عَلى الْإِثْمِ وَالْعُدْوَانِ. So the masjid, it should be all about وَتَعَاوَنُوا عَلى الْبِرِّ وَالتَّقْوَى. This is the masjid should be all about. We have to help and support. And alhamdulillah, Allah, everybody come to the masjid, there is khair in him. There is blessing and there is good in him. But the shaitan sometimes make those divisions between the one community and make people just to split and go and build another masjid. And then now you're either taking resources away, making things in the hearts of the people. They don't like one another. And unfortunately in the US, this is the only place that I see that sometimes people might not pray in a certain masjid. In the Muslim countries, you pray at any masjid you pass by. There is no politics. Any masjid. So I pray Asr in this masjid, maybe Maghrib, I pray in another masjid, or Fajr in the other masjid. Wherever you go. Sometimes people, maybe 2 masjid in the city, he's close to that masjid, but you have to go to his masjid. That's masjid, he's not praying. Al-masajid lillah. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentioned, وَأَنَّ الْمَسَاجِدَ لِلَّهِ فَلَا تَدْعُوا مَعَ اللَّهِ أَحَدًا. The masajid for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We should not call the masjid by any name that can indicate racism or geographical entity or anything like that. All of the masajid for Allah. Pray in any masjid. We want not to have only strengthening the community within one masjid, but all of the masajid in that city. We have to be just as one masjid. The imam can come in this masjid, the other imam can go to the other masjid. The communities, mashallah, together they pray Eid, they distribute sadaqah together and zakah, and they care for everybody. Unfortunately, some masajid, if you don't come to their masjid and you fall in need, they might not help you because you don't come to the masjid. You're not a member of that masjid. This is wrong because you help him as the Muslim. It doesn't matter which masjid that he go. He can come to your masjid and ask for help. So strengthen the community also, the mission, and I take this also through visiting the sick people within the community. This is my own experience in the visiting the sick and the janais. You find, subhanallah, you can strengthen the community so easy when you visit somebody who is sick in your community, either in his house or at the hospital. Especially at the hospital, when somebody is sick and you make an announcement at the masjid that brother so-and-so is sick at this hospital in room number so-and-so, and let these people go. Wallahi, it's not only changing his life. Sometimes nurses and doctors, when they see this person, especially when they are from different countries and race, there is a question in their mind, and what bring those people together is Islam. And the person himself, as I mentioned, I have experience with some people might not come into the masjid regularly, but one visit in the hospital because they are sick, it changed their life. It makes them to be among the regular and the attendees, people of the masjid. They are regular. Another example, somebody who have his child, he passed away also, and the masjid help him, start taking care of the janazah, expenses and everything. That changed his life. He's not used to pray, especially the death of the parents. Have another experience from some people also. One of their parents died, and also it's huge expenses. The community, mashallah, they help him, they paid for that. He started coming to the masjid and practicing. So this is what the Prophet did, alayhi salatu wasalam. You have to have real engage in life, and in people concerns, or people يعني issues. Preaching is good, but it's not enough. It's not enough. And you have to go and find what people problems are. People come to the masjid, and as I mentioned, the imam maybe cannot do all of those things, but anybody in the administration, he can do that. Yani they leave everything say just generally for the imam. You have to do this, and then sometimes they are, contradict each other with the time. But the board, they can do this on behalf of the imam, or they can do just the members in the masjid. Everybody have to, inshallah, play a very important and big role in this. So really you have to watch and strengthen the community from any kind of division and challenges that it might face. I put many hadith in this what I just mentioned, but I think I'm going to stop here. Maybe leaving this for questions, inshallah, so we can finish by 1:30, inshallah, since the dhuhr is 1:45. Anybody have any question or any issue you want to raise that I didn't cover in this? Faddal, inshallah. Anybody want to add or share an experience or anything like that? You're welcome, inshallah. Okay. So, Jazakallah khairan. The Prophet alayhi salatu wasalam, I mentioned this in the hadith, but Surah Al-Hujurat, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala laid down also the principles of some rules within the community, also how people they deal with one another, and the whole surah, most of the surah. But from what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentioned, يا أيها الذين آمنوا لا يسخر قوم من قوم عسى أن يكونوا خيرا منهم ولا نساء من نساء عسى أن يكون خيرا منهن ولا تلمزوا أنفسكم ولا تنابزوا بالألقاب بئس الاسم الفسوق بعد الإيمان ومن لم يتب فأولئك هم الظالمون يا أيها الذين آمنوا اجتنبوا كثيرا من الظن إن بعض الظن إثم ولا تجسسوا ولا يغتب بعضكم بعضا أيحب أحدكم أن يأكل لحم أخيه ميتا فكرهتموه واتقوا الله إن الله تواب رحيم يا أيها الناس. There they mentioned خلقناكم من ذكر. So teaching, subhanallah, is directly instructing the Muslims to respect each other, not to defame one another. لا يسخر قوم من قوم. Nobody should degrade or defame or make fun of anyone. And قوم here رجال. قوم here is came مقابل للنساء. So is Allah talking about the man. There's mentioned ولا نساء من نساء. That's applied to women themselves. They should not degrade and make fun of another woman because they might be better than them in taqwa, in fear of Allah Azza wa Jal. Then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentioned those ayat, do not envy one another, do not backbite one another, do not have bad suspicion or thoughts about your Muslim brother and sister, do not call each other names, and all of those teaching that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentioned. Before that, the ayat that Allah mentioned even related to the community, إِن جَاءَكُمْ فَاسِقٌ بِنَبَإٍ فَتَبَيَّنُوا also. When somebody within the community come with the news, that then verify this news before you make false accusations to anybody. So building the community through having those manners. حق المسلم على المسلم, the Prophet made it to be one of the rights of the Muslim upon the other Muslim. Those things that we mentioned, to visit him when he's sick, to greet him when he sneezes, he said alhamdulillah, to say yarhamukallah, to follow his janazah, to support him if has been in any problem or dealt with him in any injustice way. Ibrar al-Maqsim, somebody swear, then you have to fulfill his oath. So all of those teachings, the Prophet ﷺ used them to strengthening his community, the community of the Sahaba. Radwanullahi ta'ala alayhim. Any? Naam. So as is mentioned, so you make me to go back to God all of the knows, but I run out of time, so I mentioned. But the Prophet ﷺ, when he mentioned all of those things, لا تباغضوا ولا تحاسدوا ولا تدابروا وكونوا عباد الله إخوانا, قال لا يحل لمسلم أن يهجر أخاه فوق 3 ليال. It's not lawful for any Muslim to shun or abandon his Muslim brother for more than 3 days. This if they're having any issues among themselves. Then the hadith mentioned خيرهم الذي يبدأ بالسلام, the best one, the one who starts the salam. This is weakening the community. It can just be by individuals, but it will expand to families and friends and other people. Sometimes problem between only 2 individuals, but it go out of control and it reach and touch maybe every body in that. Everybody in the community, I didn't classify it in that way, but children, they have a role at the masjid, youth, women, elderly people, everybody is part of the community. The masjid should have some activities for those people, having them to come to the masjid. And unfortunately, many of our masajid do not tolerate children and young kids, and that's not the issue at the time of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Instead of yelling at them or ask the parents not to bring them here, then we have to use other methods, advice, and then just be patient. This is the only way, and for them to learn, is just to have to be patient with the children. Especially Ramadan is coming, they're causing a lot of noise in the Taraweeh, and people cannot be patient with that. There is no choice. We have to find a way to fix the problem, but not just eliminate the entire problem with the kids just out of the masjid, or call the police on them and things like that. Now,
please don't forget about the basketball so the kids will come and the parents will come.
That's the added to inshallah. Okay. تفضل.
Were you referring to the immigrants from Mecca and the Ansar, and before they became established the Brotherhood? At one time they used to fight one another. Was that who you were referring to? Or
In the time of the Jahiliyyah, before the Islam,
before Islam?
exactly, before Islam.
Yes.
Before us, actually, Al-Aws and Al-Khazraj, in one of the story, after the Prophet ﷺ migrated to Medina, one of the Jewish people, he passed by them. Those two tribes, they used to fight before the Prophet came to them. And they appoint a leader who's Abdullah ibn Ubay ibn Salul, later on, the head of the Munafiqeen, the hypocrites. So this guy, when he passed by them, he saw them that are united, they're together, they're mashallah happy and socializing, and he doesn't like that. So he asked one of the young children, he said, go and remind them by the days when they used to fight back then. And he went, and subhanallah, they are almost fighting one another. Start calling as-silah as-silah. Everybody have to bring what he's fighting with, and then they have to fight each other. The Prophet ﷺ, he heard that while he's in his house, and he came out quickly. قال أبدعوى الجاهلية وأنا بين أظهركم. Are you going to go back to the Jahiliyyah days and I'm still among you? I'm still alive? Then they start hugging one another and crying, and knowing that this is from the shaitan. So the fight before Islam, yes, they used to fight in Medina and in Mecca, in both. The tribes in Mecca among themselves. But look at subhanAllah, Islam make them to be among the most peaceful people on earth because of the Islam and because of the teaching for Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Question? Yes, تفضل Sheikh.
Talk about the I think in the communities, I think you have mixing cultures and mixing minds. How the community deal or the imam deals with the Khalifa of something like this? How the people?
Wallahi, the same way that the Prophet dealt with him.
Yeah, I know. As you know that here, I think you can't serve the people or say the people from the community or let them
Exactly.
apart from the community. How can you deal with them? Okay, and also you follow up their function among the people.
Exactly,
People,
yes.
They live, as you know, in the community, just to let the people differentiate or
Wallahi, that's a very excellent point, and is just really hard. And subhanallah, as if in every community there is troublemakers in every way. Sometimes they reach level of munafiqeen, or some people might call them. Sometimes they're just seeking and causing division. And the Prophet dealt with those people on the zahir. Number one, like they're Muslims, they pray, they fast, and everything. The Prophet never, alayhi salatu wasalam, prosecute those people. However, he warned the people against their teachings, the way of causing fitna, by mentioning many of those teachings, showing them alamatul munafiq. Those are the sign of the hypocrites. He told them about the sign of the munafiqeen. They lie when they speak, they tell lies. When they promise, they make promises. They break promises. When they promise, they betray other people. So all of those signs. But really, practically, يعني how you deal with them is you give me the answer. It's just really يعني hard. You embrace the community and try to lean toward the peace, to the best. Adly mentioned يعني وإن جنحوا للسلم فإنح لها وتوكل على الله. يعني you have to just يعني embrace them and control maybe their evil to a certain level. But يعني as I mentioned, removing them out of the community is not Islamic solution. It might cause more problems, more harm, and especially if this يعني person you have status. The Prophet ﷺ did not dealt with Abdullah ibn Salul with this because he has a status. He is supposed to be the king of those two tribes before the Prophet migrated. So anything that if the Prophet dealt with him with justice is in any way, there's going to affect many other people. They have a lot of people, they listen to him, a lot of followers. So the Prophet ﷺ dealt with him in a very peaceful way until he died. And even when he died, the Prophet offered Salat al-Janaz on his body and he gave him his iba'ah to be his coffin, shroud. But it's just it's really hard between labeling them or embracing them or try to solve the problem in a certain way. It's just from the challenges that we face. والله أعلم. عندك اقتراح ولا؟ نعم إن شاء الله. نعم تفضل. عليكم السلام.
It's sort of a continuous question from what the brother here. There's a thing, you start off saying, like sometimes we don't greet each other, give the salams, and this makes me sad. But to make it further is what he's saying. Continuous fitna, people not adhering to Allah or the Quran, they don't want to hear it. I mean, hadith or nothing. And it continues, it's like they don't want to come together. Thus the community breaks up, thus the community splits. And if you try to relate to your brother out of love, out of peace, out of what Allah and the Prophet told, it's a continuous matter. Fitna, I don't know, and everything. And I have seen this from shuras and people, their nafs, their intentions, it seems like Allah knows that it's something else. So when you come from a community, and it's like in New York, people run to different massages. Here, you can't do that. But the thing is, the community starts to split. This brother doesn't like this brother, this family doesn't like this brother, and there's no resolve, and we're all in the same masjid or something. And it looks like there's no resolve. We know we take it back to the book of Allah and to the Prophet.
Well, let's see, I think we're having a problem in most of the Islamic communities about the personal matters. Personal matters, this is really widespread. People taking issues or differences among them as something that personal. And when somebody just discuss maybe with you Salat al-Tarawih, how many rak'ah, things like that, or building the masjid or doing this or the other one, people might take that issue as personal and it create enmity or hatred in the heart of the people for something that's not even religious. And it will grow like that. How we solve this matter, we have to raise the taqwa level, the faith, and all of this is because of where our faith is really low. All of us, because of when we go in personal issues other than real issues. Aisha, she answered this. She said the Prophet ﷺ never ever took any revenge for himself, something that personal. Only so the Prophet separate between things that has to do with the deen of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He cannot tolerate anything that has to do with innovation, is bid'ah, or anything with the religious matters. Something personal, somebody grabbed the Prophet ﷺ, pull him down, somebody yell at the Prophet, things like that. He will tolerate those things ﷺ. فقالت من تقم لنفسه أبدا قط never ﷺ he retaliate or take revenge for him. We don't do that. Actually, it could be sometimes we get more angry at personal issues than religious matters. Somebody violated the deen, we might don't put too much worry about that, but attack us personally, it became as a big issue. Wallahu alam, the only solutions, we have to just elevate our iman, our faith to the level that we don't have those differences to cause division and hatred between and among ourselves. Just this hadith that Sheikh Adly reminded me about the 3 days. We know this hadith, but we pass 3 days, sometimes months, sometimes, but everybody knows this hadith. Like you should not يعني, boycott or shun or abandon your brother for more than 3 days. Everybody knows this hadith. Did we apply it? Because our iman is low, so if we are serious about that, we have to يعني, change our hearts toward the deen itself, not the opposite, not the way around. I see this maybe brother, after 3 days, the Prophet mentioned خيرهم الذي يبدأ بالسلام. He said the best one among the two, the one would start the greetings, start the salam, he's the best. So people should compete to be who is the best if we want to يعني, get the blessings of the Prophet ﷺ when he said خيرهما, the most blessed one among the two, the one who start the salam, the greetings. Allahu alam. I think, تفضل.
You just mentioned in that hadith about the 3 days.
نعم.
How should a person deal with a situation like that when a situation develops, a person protects the integrity of the community against this person, and this person has pointed out that what he did was wrong, but he refuses to correct his actions in the sense that he doesn't give the person salams, he looks for opportunities to argue with that person, and the other person is concerned this person is someday going to fight him or.
So what the other person would do? Did he greet him or try to, reach out?
The other person gives him his rights. When he walks in, he says "Salaam alaikum" to him. He greets him, and then he tries his best to stay away from this person in the sense that he's not going to do anything to provoke him or make him retaliate in some fashion, because he kind of thinks that person is going to do that. And so this person is kind of confused about how do I address this. I'm really concerned this person and I is going to get into a fight one day. I'm going to lose my temper.
Well, I shouldn't, as long as he's following those teachings of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. If you look at those rights, when the Prophet mentioned the 6 rights or the 5 rights in one hadith, this is really something that you might do even out of what's in your heart. You can greet somebody, but still maybe you have some concerns about this person. But you say "Assalamu alaikum" to break, maybe the ice, or to, build bridges with the person. You visit him when he's sick, something physical, when he sneezes. And all of those things physical, not necessarily coming from the heart. So when you give him all of those rights, for sure things are going to change. Because this is really the solution and treatment of any issues that we're dealing with someone that we fear Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala regarding him, but he's not fearing Allah regarding us. Then we do the teaching of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, wait for the result. Inshallah it will produce something that's really good, but nothing can be done more than that. If the person is greeting the other one, he's showing there's no any problem that he have in his heart toward that person, but the other one is showing all kind of hatred and enmity toward the person, then the only thing that he just follow the teaching of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, that will come. Nobody harm anyone like this man, the head of the hypocrites, that he harmed Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. He accused his wife Aisha by having affairs with another companion. Anytime he get a chance, he will attack the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. When he came to the Medina, he said, لِيَخْرُجَنَّ الْأَعَزُّ مِنْهَا الْأَذَلُّ. The one who's honored, talking about himself, he will kick out the one who is adhal, he is humiliated, talking about the Prophet. He will not get any chance. He sees it, any chance he get it, he will attack the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And the Prophet alaihi wasallam dealt with him just in the way that he's a member in the community until the person died, and the way that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will punish him for that. But the Prophet wants to send a message to the people that he's not prosecuting his followers. He deserves to be executed of the false things or punished, things like that. And some people, they suggested that to the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. He said, I don't want people to go out and spread things about me, about the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, that he is executing his followers. So sometimes really we need to just grow up and put ourselves higher than the other people who might try to cause us or make us to be angry and take us to trouble or fitna, things like that. We have to just be, inshallah, more grown, more mature than those things. Allah alam. The last matter, inshallah, we conclude. جزاكم الله خيرا. Allah reward you. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك. أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك وأتوب إليك وصلي اللهم وسلم وبارك على محمد. استغفر الله العظيم.